Hey everybody, Tim here with my demon, Low Belly. So we watched today's episode of His Dark Materials, Season 1, Episode 3, The Spies. What did you think about it? He liked it. So I thought it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. This whole series is so much different than what I had initially expected it to be, and it's better. Like it's different, but in a good way. I'm really enjoying it. So the whole, for the most part, the episode is Lyra being taken by the Egyptians and kind of dealing with the spy fly. That's kind of the overall, hey, that's the part. If you're wondering which part of the book is in this episode, that's the part. You are so lazy. But on top of it, we get other stuff. We see the character cross over back into our universe again, and then they start talking about how oh, John Perry's gone missing, but he has a wife and a kid. All very clear references to book 2, the subtle knife. So already you can feel that they had a plan. They're connecting all of the books together, and it's going to be a smooth transition. It's not just going to be hodgepodge put together. You can kind of tell that Mrs. Coulter missed Lyra, but in the same part, if you look at all of the Golden Compass, look at the whole series, you can narrow the whole where everything changes down to one scene. And it's the scene where Lyra just wants to have her little fucking, purse. And Mrs. Coulter's no, that's obscene. Why would you have a bag in your own home? It doesn't make sense. That's where all of the trouble for this whole series, stems from. If she had just let her keep her purse, none of this would have happened. She probably would still be there and everything, she would have brainwashed her, convinced her to do whatever. So that's always kind of bugged me a little bit, that's where, because Lyra couldn't have a purse inside, everything fell apart. We also learned that Mrs. Coulter is Lyra's mother, and way earlier. This is found out much, much later, in the books, than we find out in the TV show. So I think that's kind of interesting. I do like the spy fly. I think it's really cool. And they briefly kind of talk about it. And I like how they use it, full lines of dialogue from the books in the TV show, but they don't do it in a way that's forced. It actually feels really natural, where they're just it's a bad spirit, with a spell through its heart. But in the show, it's somebody else that says it. So I do think it's really good. I think it's really interesting. Watching the Egyptians break into Mrs. Coulter and then the guy that just kills himself was really sad, with the elevator and then watching his hawk disappear, stuff like that. It's really interesting because this is, I think, the first time we've actually seen somebody die and their demon disappear, which would be very sad. Yeah, did you think it was sad? It was pretty sad. And then that whole scene was intense, though, where the monkey was hitting the hawk, and then Mrs. Coulter was hitting the guy, the boy, the same way with the back of her hands and stuff like that. And then finally, the big twist at the end is just Lyra finally learning to read the alethiometer. And it's interesting because, so I've been reading the books so I could be more prepared for the show. I've read them before, but years ago. And I think I'm about halfway through the second book at this point. So as soon as he said oh, John Perry, I was oh shit, I forgot about that. If I had just read the first book, wouldn't have been prepared. So to see that they're planning that far ahead, and I'm so far, I'm used to Lyra just reading the alethiometer and it actually speaking back to her, that scene where she reads it for the first time, even though she doesn't 100% understand, but now she knows what to do. It was great. It was really interesting, and it had me on the edge of my seat. So, for those who have seen this one, we're only 3 episodes in. What are you guys thinking about the series so far? Is it what you expected? Is it different? Have you guys read the book? Did you see the movie, The Golden Compass? What did you guys think? I'm really kind of curious. Are you guys watching it with your own little demons at home? So, he is so tired. Look at you. You can't even stay awake for the camera. You're so cute. So Low Belly and I are very curious what you guys are thinking about the show. Go ahead, let us both know, and we will see you guys next week for Armor.